Roads are more than just asphalt and concrete. They are the arteries of our world, etched into the planet's surface by ambition and necessity. They are the connections we forge, the lines that define our maps and our lives. But what happens when these arteries are pushed to the absolute extreme? What happens when they defy logic, conquer impossible landscapes, and challenge the very forces of nature? This is a journey to the edge of engineering and endurance, to explore 8 of the most unusual roads ever built, roads that tell incredible stories of ambition, danger, and the indomitable human spirit. Our journey begins on the Atlantic coast of France, with a road that exists only on a strict schedule. The Passage du Gois is a causeway connecting an island to the mainland, but it's a road governed by the powerful yet perilous rhythm of the ocean. Twice a day, the high tide surges in, completely submerging the passage under up to 4 meters of water. This natural spectacle makes the road passable for only a short window of time, a few hours around low tide. The peril is very real. Digital signs on either side display the day's safe crossing times, warnings that must be respected. For those who misjudge the timing, a series of tall, elevated rescue towers are positioned along the route, a last resort for stranded motorists to climb and await rescue above the rising sea. In an era of 24/7 connectivity, the Gois is a rare piece of infrastructure that forces humanity to operate on nature's schedule, not our own. From a road that bows to nature, we travel to one born from pure defiance. Deep in China's Taihang Mountains, a road exists not as a product of government planning, but as a monument to self-reliance. For centuries, the village of Guoliang was perched atop a 1,700-meter high cliff, its only connection to the world a treacherous set of nearly vertical steps known as the Sky Ladder. In 1972, after the government decided building a road wasn't worth the investment, the community took its destiny into its own hands. A core group of 13 villagers, led by their chief, sold their livestock to buy primitive tools, steel hammers, chisels, and explosives. With no engineering training, they began carving their own path through the mountain. The work was grueling. Workers suspended themselves from the cliff face with ropes to chip away at solid rock. Progress was agonizingly slow, sometimes just 1 meter every 3 days. Several villagers lost their lives during the 5-year ordeal. Finally, in 1977, the 1.2-kilometer-long tunnel opened. The iconic windows that punctuate the cliff face weren't for the view. They were openings carved to push tons of rock and debris out of the tunnel and into the valley below. If the Guoliang Tunnel is a story of a small community's ambition, our next road is one of national ambition on a staggering scale. Stretching across the spine of Asia is the Karakoram Highway, often called the 8th wonder of the world. As the highest paved international road on Earth, it runs for 1,300 kilometers, connecting Pakistan and China through 3 of the world's greatest mountain ranges. The highway reaches its zenith at the Kunjarab Pass, a breathtaking 4,714 meters above sea level, making it the highest point in the world's highest paved border crossing on the planet. This feat of engineering took nearly 24,000 workers, almost 20 years to complete, but this achievement came at an immense human cost. Workers battled landslides, rockfalls, and treacherous terrain. Over 1,000 men lost their lives, approximately 810 Pakistanis and 200 Chinese. The road's route was even dictated by military strategy. Planners chose the steeper, more challenging Kunjarab Pass over an easier alternative because it was deemed less susceptible to airstrikes. It is a friendship highway built on a foundation of geopolitical anxiety and profound sacrifice. Not all extreme roads are born from hardship. In Norway, a road exists not merely to connect 2 points, but to celebrate the journey between them. The Atlantic Ocean Road is a relatively short 8.3-kilometer stretch of highway, but it is one of the most spectacular drives in the world. It dances across an archipelago of small islands, linking them with a series of 8 elegant bridges that leap over the Norwegian Sea. Its construction was a 6-year battle against the raw power of the Atlantic. During this period, the worksite was battered by 12 major European windstorms. The road's most iconic feature is the Storseisundet Bridge. Its dramatic sweeping curve creates a stunning optical illusion, making it appear as a road to nowhere that simply launches cars off into the sky. Voted the Norwegian construction of the century, it proves that infrastructure can be art. Tourists flock here not just to drive, but to experience nature's drama, especially during storms when massive waves crash over the guardrails. From the dramatic curves of the Norwegian coast, we head to a road defined by the complete absence of them. Stretching across the vast, treeless Nullarbor Plain, Australia's Eyre Highway is a journey into immense scale and isolation. It is the vital link between South and Western Australia, but its most unusual feature is is its profound straightness. The highway is home to the 90-mile straight, the longest stretch of straight road in Australia, running for 146.6 kilometers without a single curve. This section is so remote and flat that it is officially designated as an emergency landing strip for the Royal Flying Doctor Service. While the modern road is a smooth ribbon of asphalt, the drive remains a profound psychological test. The monotony of the landscape, the name Nullarbor is Latin for no trees, can induce a hypnotic state in drivers, demanding intense mental fortitude. The road's true challenge is not navigating turns, but confronting the sheer emptiness of the continent. But what happens when a road has the exact opposite problem? In the city of Dunedin, New Zealand, lies a celebrated planning error. Baldwin Street, the Guinness World Record holder for the steepest residential street on Earth. Its shocking incline was entirely unintentional. In the mid-19th century, the city's streets were laid out by planners in London, who, with no knowledge of the local landscape, simply imposed a rigid grid pattern onto a series of rolling hills. The result is a street with a maximum gradient of 35%. For every 2.86 meters you travel horizontally, you rise by 1 meter. This extreme environment forced unique adaptations. The upper section is paved with concrete because on a hot day, asphalt would liquefy and flow down the hill. Residents have built their homes on stepped foundations with terraced gardens clinging to the slope. The community didn't just adapt to this flaw, they embraced it, turning it into their most famous characteristic. From a street that defies gravity, we go to a junction that defies intuition. In Swindon, England, there is an intersection that inspires a unique mix of terror and admiration. Opened in 1972, the Magic Roundabout is a visually chaotic masterpiece of traffic engineering. It consists of 5 small, clockwise mini roundabouts arranged around a larger central roundabout where traffic flows in the opposite, anti-clockwise direction. For the uninitiated, it's one of the most baffling and intimidating junctions in the world. However, despite its bewildering appearance, the Magic Roundabout has an excellent safety record. Its success hinges on a concept known as psychological traffic calming. The junction's complexity intentionally disrupts the automatic habits of modern driving. It forces motorists to slow down, abandon their autopilot, and engage in active problem solving. This heightened state of awareness is the key to its safety, proving that making a junction feel more dangerous can in fact make it objectively safer. Finally, we arrive at a road whose very name is synonymous with danger, the North Yungas Road in Bolivia, known to the world as Death Road. At its deadliest, this 64-kilometer stretch of single-lane gravel track was estimated to claim 200 to 300 lives every year. Crosses and memorials line the route, grim markers where trucks and buses have plunged into the 600-meter abyss below. Built in the 1930s by prisoners of war, it is a perfect storm of hazards, sheer, unguarded cliff edges, a width of barely 3 meters, and a surface plagued by fog, rain, and landslides. In a unique safety measure, traffic here drives on the left, opposite to the rest of Bolivia, so that drivers can better judge the distance between their outer wheel and the terrifying drop. In 2006, a modern highway was completed, bypassing the most treacherous sections, but the old death road did not fall into disuse. Instead, its deadly reputation was commodified. Today, it's a premier destination for thrill-seeking mountain bikers who pay to experience a curated dose of the very risk that locals were forced to endure for generations. From a road that vanishes beneath the waves, to one carved by hand from a cliff face, from a hypnotic line across a desert to a gravity-defying mistake, each of these asphalt anomalies tells a profound story. They are more than just routes from one place to another. They are mirrors reflecting our own humanity, our stubbornness, our creativity, our willingness to risk everything for connection, and our endless fascination with the fine line between order and chaos.